Hello, I'm Stuart Hameroff, Director of the Center for Consciousness Studies at the University of Arizona. And I want to introduce you to our next international conference toward the science of consciousness, Brain, Mind, and Reality, to be held in Stockholm, Sweden, May 2nd through 8th, 2011. This should be a very, very exciting conference. It will be held at Stockholm University at Aula Magna Hall, the location of the Nobel Prize Awards. We have some very interesting and exciting speakers and themes this time around. For example, brain fields and consciousness. It's been discovered in the last few years that the brain produces an electromagnetic field which then feeds back on the brain, influencing electrophysiology. This highlights some theories of consciousness that have been around for a while, that the field itself, the electromagnetic field or perhaps some other type of field, is consciousness or correlates with consciousness. We'll have people who've put forth these theories as well as researchers who've been studying the field produced by the brain and its effect feeding back. And also we'll have speakers talking about massively coherent activities in the brain, avalanches, ignitions, firings, and so forth, and how they correlate with consciousness. Another topic will be consciousness in the universe. Is consciousness an epiphenomenon which arose at some point after the Big Bang, during evolution, and to be important in our survival? Or is consciousness more primary, as some Eastern philosophies suggest? Is consciousness built into the universe, as Roger Penrose suggests? Is consciousness actually part of the Big Bang, as Paulo Zizi suggests, the Big Wow theory? Is consciousness along the lines of Eastern philosophy, like Deepak Chopra will talk about also? So these are various takes from physics, Eastern philosophy, and quantum information technology, all discussing the role and the place of consciousness in the universe. Another topic will be transcranial therapy of mental states. Because fields are important and other reasons, in the last few years a number of new therapies have come up using magnetic, electric, and ultrasound therapy to affect mental states. By applying these fields directly to the brain or to the skull, non-invasively, magnetic stimulation for depression, electrical stimulation for memory effects, ultrasound for a variety of things, and ultrasound at the resonant frequency of microtubules, for example. So we'll have a session featuring all three of these different modalities. Time, precognition, and consciousness. Since the experiments of Libet showing apparent backward time referral of subjective experience in the brain, people have wondered about whether consciousness is really epiphenomenal, as most people say, or due to a trick of quantum physics projected backward in time so that consciousness can exert real-time control over our actions, rescuing consciousness from being epiphenomenal. This has been in the province of quantum physics and so-called parapsychology, but in recent years, this backward time effect has popped up in mainstream neuroscience, and we'll have two mainstream neuroscientists talking about backward time effects in conventional mainstream data, as well as Dick Bierman, who's been doing the so-called parapsychological work, and some of the quantum physicists talking about how in quantum physics time is not an issue and seemingly backward time effects can occur. Anesthesia and consciousness. We'll have several experts in the field of how anesthetic gases selectively erase consciousness while sparing non-conscious brain functions. Quantum biology. We'll have some very interesting work suggesting quantum effects in microtubules by Anirban Bandyapati, for example, and Jack Tuszynski, and as well as reflecting on the findings of quantum coherence in photosynthesis. If quantum coherence is used by plants, as it seems to be in photosynthesis, surely the brain has developed the capacity to take advantage of this potentially very useful effect. Neuronal activities in consciousness. Does consciousness derive from axonal firings, from dendritic effects, dendritic synchrony, dendritic integration? What function of the neuron per se is most directly relevant to consciousness? End-of-life brain activity. For many, many years, actually thousands of years in different cultures, people have reported so-called near-death and out-of-body experiences, which are usually thought to be paranormal and not scientific. But in the last 2 years, brain monitoring of patients who are dying, patients from whom support is withdrawn so they can die peacefully, has shown a burst of brain activity when the heartbeat and the blood pressure are absent, suggesting, and this looks to be coherent gamma synchrony, suggesting that this may be a sign of near-death experience, and we'll investigate that. And the varieties of religious experience, we'll discuss how in Eastern philosophy, for example, consciousness is viewed. Also in the Amazon, ayahuasca is used for religious experience, and also more conventional approaches. So we have a wide gamut of various approaches to the problem of how consciousness is produced in the brain, from brain science to philosophy to Eastern philosophy to quantum physics, quantum biology, and there will also be many entertaining events in the Swedish tradition of Stockholm, and as is usual in the Tucson conferences toward the science of consciousness, we intend to have a lot of fun, so I hope to see you there. We welcome all comers to the consciousness conferences, including scientists, philosophers, interested lay people, anybody curious about their own existence and the nature of their own consciousness. You can submit an abstract through our website and present either a talk or a poster and be part of it, or just come and listen. We encourage everybody to come. Don't be inhibited, don't be intimidated, and that goes from whether you're a top-level researcher or just an interested lay person who is curious about their own existence. So we encourage you to attend.